All right, we've covered atom 2. I'm going to move on to atom 3. I'm going to show you, this is another transformation, so the sequence will be very similar. I'm going to show you how to identify the degree of a polynomial. For the next examples, the degree of each term has been worked out for you. The degree of this polynomial is 15. The degree of this polynomial is 18. Each time, the highest degree term gives the degree of the polynomial. Your turn. What is the degree of this polynomial? What is the degree of this polynomial? For the next examples, the degree of each term has not been worked out for you. First, work out the degree of each term. Then, give the degree of the polynomial. What should you do first? What should you do then? Okay. What is the degree of this polynomial? Okay, a few different things that just happened. Number one, right at the end there, what you saw was chaining. So they've already learned atom 2, how to identify the degree of a term, and they've just learned how to identify the degree of a polynomial. I actually gave them the degree of each term to begin with, because I just want to focus on this one atom. I just want them to select the highest degree term each time for the whole polynomial. I then think these are relatively straightforward, so especially for atom 3. I gave only 2 examples. I then tested my communication with only 2 examples. I then immediately went in to chain atoms 2 and 3 together so that they had to do, first of all this, identify the degree of each term, and then use that to identify the degree of the whole polynomial. A couple of other things that you'll have seen me do. I don't know how to get rid of that. That's just going to stay there for a while. There we go. First of all, when you're hearing me ask questions and pause, ideally in a classroom, there would be students who are responding to the question. How do they respond? You've got a couple of options. One option here is to use mini whiteboards. Mini whiteboards have the advantage of you're definitely being able to see the response of every single student. But there's another option for these. The responses I'm looking for are incredibly straightforward. I just need a number, 15, 19, 7, etc. So another option which isn't as precise in terms of assessing every single individual student to make sure that they've got it, but is a lot faster and can be used to increase the pace of a lesson, to increase the energy levels in a lesson, to increase the efficiency of a lesson. So you're getting through more and more practice examples in the same amount of time, and also provides the opportunity for more voices in the room other than your own, which can sometimes be a nice thing. The alternative is choral response. So with a choral response, you have a signal and then just ask every student to respond at the same time on that signal. Some teachers will give a countdown. I've seen other teachers will literally just tap a pen, or they'll signal something with their hands, and a whole room can respond simultaneously. That's quite fast, it's quite efficient, and actually some of these things are so easy and straightforward. I'd probably favour that, depending on the class. Depends on the class, but for a lot of students I've taught, I think they would find this relatively easy and they would get bored pretty quickly if they were constantly having to work even with mini whiteboards. So that, I think, would help us move through some of these quite quickly.